What if you could learn any skill in half the time? The secret isn't studying more hours. It's applying an ancient Japanese concept called Ikigai to your learning, a philosophy that's been perfected over centuries in Japan's traditional education system. Western education taught us that success equals brute effort. Spend more time studying, memorize more information, do more exercises. But modern neuroscience proves this is a myth. Japanese masters discovered something different. Your brain doesn't function like a hard drive where you simply store data. It works like a neural network that needs strategic connections, something Japanese students understand intuitively. Have you ever spent hours studying for an exam feeling like you absorbed everything, but the next day you couldn't remember almost anything? Meanwhile, a Japanese student might study fewer hours but retain everything. Or tried learning a new language, but after weeks of intense study, you could barely form basic sentences. That's the result of shallow learning. Your brain is working in survival mode, not mastery mode, not the way they teach in Japanese schools. Ikigai learning is about finding the perfect intersection between four elements, a framework developed by Japanese philosophers over thousands of years. What you love to learn, what you need to learn, what the world needs you to know, and what can be rewarded. When you align these four elements, your brain releases dopamine naturally. And dopamine isn't just the pleasure molecule, it's the fuel of neuroplasticity. This is what Japanese educators have known for generations. Think of your brain like a traditional Japanese garden. You can throw 1,000 seeds randomly and hope something grows. Or you can strategically plant the right seeds in the right soil with the right water, the way Japanese gardeners have perfected over centuries. Ikigai is your brain gardening map. Small, consistent practice builds massive capabilities, the Japanese way. First technique, the personal relevance map. This comes from how Japanese artisans approach learning their crafts. Take any subject you need to learn. Now ask yourself, how does this connect with something I already love? If you need to learn math but love music, connect the two just like Japanese students do. Rhythms are fractions, scales are mathematical progressions, composition is applied algebra. Your brain creates stronger synapses when it connects the new with the familiar and pleasurable. This is the essence of the Japanese Ikigai approach to education. Second technique, daily micro-immersion. Don't try to study for 3 hours straight. That overloads your prefrontal cortex. Instead, follow the Japanese student method, 20-minute sessions, 3 times a day, focused on a single aspect. This mirrors how Japanese schools structure their learning blocks. In the morning, absorb the concept. At midday, apply it to a real example. In the evening, teach it to someone or explain it out loud. This spaced repetition creates long-term memories, not short-term memories that disappear after the test. Japanese education has used this rhythm for decades. Third technique, the intention ritual. This comes directly from Japanese Zen practices adapted for learning. Before starting any study session, close your eyes for 30 seconds, breathe deeply 3 times, a technique Japanese monks have used for mental preparation for centuries. Mentally declare, for the next 20 minutes, I will master this specific concept. This ritual creates a flow state. You're telling your brain that now is the time to focus, not to wander. It's like flipping a neurological switch, something Japanese masters call entering the learning mind. The neuroscience explains why this Japanese approach works. Studies from the University of Tokyo showed that Japanese students who aligned their learning goals with personal purpose had 40% more information retention compared to Western students using traditional methods. The hippocampus, responsible for memory, works together with the amygdala, responsible for emotions. When you learn something with emotional significance, the way Ikigai teaches, both regions activate simultaneously, creating stronger and more lasting memories. This is why Japan consistently ranks at the top in international education assessments. Imagine waking up every day excited to learn the way Japanese students approach their studies. Not because you have to study, but because you want to master. Imagine looking back in 6 months and realizing you've developed skills that seemed impossible. That's the difference between Western forcing of learning and the Japanese cultivation of mastery through Ikigai. This ancient Japanese wisdom transforms study from a painful obligation into a journey of self-discovery. So here's your challenge: choose a skill you want to master. Apply the personal relevance map today, the Japanese way. Find the emotional connection that Japanese artisans have always used. Start your first 20-minute micro-immersion session using this Japanese technique, and observe how your brain responds completely differently. You're not just learning, you're unlocking your hidden potential through centuries of Japanese educational wisdom. This Japanese technique is one piece of 7 complementary methods from Japan's learning philosophy. Full Japanese Learning Secrets playlist linked below. These traditional Japanese techniques stack for 10 times transformation. Subscribe for more proven strategies backed by neuroscience and Japanese wisdom.